If you want your child to be able to focus, to pay attention to their homework or their assignments or their studying, to concentrate on one thing through to completion, that is a big skill that takes a lot of things to do that. But if you want them to be able to do that better, more effectively, you have to have certain things in place, one of which is what I call a sacred study space, the SSS. You, as an adult watching this right now, me as an adult, I'm here in my studio. I'm here ready to rock and roll with Debbie on this video. I don't have any distractions on I'm a standing desk. I like standing desks. I don't have any distractions here. My desk is clean except for my glasses and my cell phone, which is turned off. Like, I'm able to create an environment that is conducive to me being able to focus, pay attention, and concentrate on the task at hand, which is communicating with Debbie right now. And I have my notes right here in front of my face. So I'm ready to rock and roll. Our students need a sacred study space, and oftentimes they don't. They might be studying in their bed. They might be studying on the couch, I'm not saying you can't ever do that. They might be studying at a messy desk or whatever, but they need a place that is conducive to focusing, paying attention, and concentrating. And of course, if they have buy-in in designing this, constructing this area, the more they're going to be able to do that. Now, when you create a sacred study space, what you need to do is remove what I said was the other side of the coin of focus, concentration, and distraction. The other side of the coin was what?
Distractibility.
Yes. You have to remove the distractions. My phone is off. There are no other tabs open except the one with my notes. I don't have anything on. We have to remove the distractions. So in their sacred study space, one of the things I teach with my students is before you study and do homework, one of the first things you're doing is prepping your area. You don't just dive in. You actually want to prep your area. People don't think about that as part of focus. Yeah, well, we do that intuitively, you and I, and most successful adults. It doesn't matter if you're working on a car. You have a sacred study area to work on a car, a sacred garage with sacred places for the tools. If you're doing painting, you have a sacred area for But they need a place that removes the distractions in this place. So you want to have a sacred study space. In that space, you want to remove the distractions. You want to minimize and downsize. Now, this is another thing you should do before anything. So hopefully whoever's watching this right now, hopefully this weekend, next weekend, you can minimize and downsize everything in your child's life they don't need. That includes everything from clothing they no longer wear, to books they no longer read, to toys they no longer play with. These kids have so much clutter. And that also includes things in the inbox they don't need, learning how to not subscribe to a million things, unsubscribing from, all of their, 7,000 emails and that they don't need. So we want to minimize and downsize, and that this is very important. If we want them to focus, we really have to help them start building environments that are conducive to focus. I noticed your books are organized. It's beautiful in the background there. You've taken time, Debbie, to intentionally design that environment that feels good to you. And they need to do that in order to, before we even want them to start focusing. So sleep, nutrition, exercise, having a great environment, removing distractions, having the relationship with the teacher, having engaging work for them to do, minimizing, having a sacred study space.
What I love about what you're talking about is that it is woven into our everyday life. I think so often we think that we can go to an executive function class. And I've heard from so many people that, despite the best of intentions, that often doesn't work because it's not woven in. So when we think about eating and sleeping and how we're organizing our environment, all as part of executive function, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yep. You have to attack it from many different angles.